Okay, people. This is Mervelee, your blogger from Alma Grove. I am doing this recording. I've I've locked down my I've locked down my YouTube because I had to do things to save my life and save my family. Whatever it is I can save. I told my brother when he started acting in an irresponsible way and targeting me. He said he wants to be leader of the family. I have no problems with that. I told my brother that what he's doing is destroying the family that was created. I'm trying to start the other one, but the thing not working is like everything is not working for me when I want it to work. This thing not working and I don't function without it. I haven't eaten. I told my brother that what he's doing is destroying the family my mother and father created because all of us are for one mother and one father. My parents didn't have any outside children. So we should be united, but we're not united. I'm going to say something that I've kept a secret all my life. I first discussed the matter with my son when he came here because my son told me that after I left Jamaica, he was abused. And my son told me who it was that abused him. So as a result, because I heard my son use a word that whatever has happened, it mustn't be repeated. So as a result of listening to my son telling me he was abused and the impact on him of being abused, he lost his eyebrows turned gray and all that. And that's when I decided to confide in my son about what the mirage, what I call the mirage in my head, because I wasn't sure I had seen something or I had made it up. It was my mind. So I discussed the whole scenario with my son and I laid it to rest. All that was happening to me after the death of my mother. So first it started after the death of my brother Byron, or during from the time I was employed at King's College Hospital, NHS Foundation Trust, Bumpata House Day Nursery. So everything came about after the death of my brother Byron, and then that story is out there. I want to come, as Paul said, focus on the point I'm trying to make. So I will not be using certain narratives. I was talking to my son's baby mother, and she said she sent me a picture. I don't know which of the phone the picture is on, but she said she sent me a picture because there was a story. There was a thingy on Facebook. A person by the name of Sandy made A person by uh, uh, an account was made on YouTube, and don't know if this is the one. An account was made on the Facebook by a person using the name Sandy Sandy, and I don't know whatever came out of that. It was a big uproar. My father is called Ivan Sandeman Nemhard. So yes, that was that picture is the one. So okay. So my father still not working. I mean I have no way to make it work. My father is Ivan Sandeman Nemhard, and a person took out an account on Facebook named Sandy Sandy and targeted me. And I tell you, it was the most obnoxious things I've ever heard in my life or seen. Yeah. Some of the posts I wasn't seeing because I didn't have the time because of all that was happening. So as Paul has taught me, or just recently, focus, try and focus on the point. So I'm gonna go back. I wish that was recording, but it's not coming on. And the others are at the shop. So I'm gonna go back to being a little girl, carefree little girl, before my father was stricken with Parkinson's. having not a care in the world. I didn't even act like a girl of such. Because when you grow up with 7 brothers, you're a tomboy until you reach puberty. And that is, you start seeing a period. And your mother, the only way your mother could communicate with you, the importance of not dilly-dallying with boys, is to say not to let any man touch you. So that was it. I would not let any man or boy touch me, and I mean the physical touch. It is before puberty. I cannot tell you the exact time when my marriage happened. I tried to blot it out to say, I tried to blot it out to say it didn't happen. And I carried this secret with me all my life. A secret I carried with me all my life. I kept it to myself. And my reasoning is I was not sure I had seen what I had seen or I had made it up. Yeah. And maybe that's why whenever I was talking, and because my father had told me about my mad auntie, I always put myself in that bracket. It's in the mind. I wasn't sure I'd seen what I'd seen. Some of it I guess it was my excuses. So I always said my mad head. Not thinking that I was burdening myself down with what is gonna cause me to be where I'm at. So yes, I've carried this secret with me all my life. I never discussed it with anybody. Each time I reach a place where I think it's time to discuss it, I realize no, it's not the right place, not the right time. The more concise time that I thought I should discuss it was when my daughter-in-law got misread. I saw misread send some this not working again, so there's no way I can go. You see what I'm saying? Well, if these not working, I can't function. So I just have the thing and it's not working. So when Nahil Brown Legister got misread to do the mental health thingy from Jamaica, I was gonna tell Miss Reed, discuss the matter with Miss Reed. But then something happened, and I decided no, Miss Reed wasn't the person because I realized Miss Reed was just another. Miss Reed was just. Ah, come on, T. Need to close on all of this. Miss Reed was just another person who hadn't reached my level to be able to give me the support that I need. Because my levels of understanding and mental health was way advanced than Miss Reed. So I decided once more, no, I will not discuss the matter with Miss Reed. All right. I am here. I'm struggling with all that's happening. I went through the employment tribunal, whatever it was, and I wasn't getting any. I wasn't getting any help. So when my son came, I don't know if I said that already. I am so confused. I actually said, let me go ahead and discuss the matter with him because he told me certain things that he was abused. I think I said it already, but just put this down to where I'm at with my mental health and the confusion of not eating and just sheer scale of what is happening and facing imprisonment and eviction. So I think I'm trying to find Miss Reed's thing. I don't know if it's in this. Maybe I leave it. I don't know. So I'm copying this and I'm going back to this. I don't know where I'm at. Maybe, as Paul said, focus, but in order to in order to do certain things, I need to want that. Maybe I should leave this on. Um, I don't know where I'm at. I said I don't function. Okay. I think it's time. I'm trying to find the note and talk. I just see YouTube. No, it's not YouTube. Yes, I just seen YouTube. So it's it's difficult to do this because uh, I've been struggling all my life. How do I how do I go about how do I go about telling people about this matter that I have kept hidden all my life. So I don't know what to do. I'm gonna copy anything yet. So right. If it has to be done, it will be done. And I'm not trying. I try to save my family. So I don't know. But now I will have to save myself from dying slowly with torture. As I wrote in 2015 to whatever. I'm trying to tell people my life didn't just start in July 2023, but nobody is listening, so I have to show caution to the wind and say my piece about the secret that will destroy me. I'm destroyed already, but it's time to save me. And if I can save my sons and my grandchildren. So I was a little girl living in Jamaica, carefree little girl living in a community that raised a child. And one day I walked into the kitchen. The door was locked, and I opened the door, And I walked into the kitchen and I saw something. I'm sure I saw what I saw because there was a person and there was an animal. And as I opened the door, the animal walked away. As I said, I was only young and I didn't, but I know I seen. So I didn't actually see an action happening. I just opened the door and the animal walked away. I just left that in the recess of my head where it was. I'd seen something, but what I'd seen, I can't say this was happening or that was happening. I only know I opened the door and an animal walked away. So in the kitchen was an animal and a person. Sometimes I see some things they reenact on YouTube or wherever. So at one stage, YouTube was becoming like a trigger for all my traumas. A trigger for all my traumas. The murders, the incest, the rape, the whatever was happening. So I tuned out. And maybe that's why I focus on creating contents that were telling stories without the negativity. But then I became the victim of my own vulnerability. And although this is working, it won't go through. So, but I guess this is another way of thwarting me. Oh, maybe because there's nothing there. Okay, see, I'm there because there's nothing there. It wouldn't go through, and that's he said. And that's why I said I don't function because it's there, and I'm thinking why it's not going through. But things are required, so it won't go through. And that's how I said I've programmed my life so I am able to live. So, okay. Paul said, focus. Now it's still not going through. Paul said, focus on what it is I need to say, but I don't know, it's still not going through. Right. So, throughout my life, I've led a life with that thing that I see, and I call it my mirage. But as I said, I never discussed it with anybody. I kept it to myself. And the closest I came to discussing it was with Miss Reed, who I just seen something that was sent that my daughter-in-law got for me. Yeah. I don't know why this is not starting. Anyway, but it didn't happen. I'm still hoping that I could address it myself, but then I didn't have the capability, or maybe if I wasn't getting knocked back, I would have. But when you have people doing things to you, and then these people are saying that no, it's not true. For example, when I my brother died and I had the first nervous breakdown, and I decided I was going to court even though I didn't have any understanding, because the union and everybody just abandoned me, no solicitor and everybody. So I decided to go myself, not knowing the not having the knowledge, and then to be told that I made up disabilities. That is a knock on anybody's confidence, considering you're already living with something in your head where, that you know you see, but because you did not see something in action, you only saw, say you see two objects, and the object were not joined together. So one of the object is here, one of the object is here, they're not joined together. So in my mind's eye, I only see two separate objects. I didn't see them joined together. So in my mind's eye, I'm saying, what am I? How can I do this? How can I say this? How can I say to anyone that had seen this, or don't know? I'm trying to say the way how everybody, if I raise concerns about anything that's happening to me, no, it didn't happen. I'm lying. Even when I put on my YouTube about what my neighbor is doing to me, and she will go there and she will write lie. And when I go to address it, YouTube will say I'm breaching their community guidelines. I do my content. Somebody come there to put lie, and then I'm addressing it, and YouTube will send out thing, block me, remove or whatever I put, say I'm breaching their content, lock me out for certain hours, and then that's it. So that's a SAP. So that's the thing from beginning. Yeah. Paul said keep it concise, but I have to spread out. So yes. So because the things were not joined together, in my head it's like, did I see something? Did I not see something? How can I say that this was attached to this when I didn't see this attached to that? But I know because of the space that I'd seen what was happening, because of a closed door, I know something was not right. So I lived with this all my life. I never discussed it with my mother. I never discussed it with my father. I never discussed it with my brothers. I carried it. The first time I had the discussion was when my son came here and we were talking. And then my son told me that he was abused. At first he didn't. He said he still sees this. And the word my son used, or the phrase my son used, he doesn't want whatever you would say the recycling to go on. So I opened up to my son and I told him what I saw. And he told me about his eyebrows, and he told me this and that. So I'm going to go back now to my real experience, where what I see and I know happened. Yeah. This is to save life. If, as I said to the solicitor, if he can negotiate some time for me to pack up my things and leave this country, give me that time. So now, before I go back, I'm going to go here, because I, throughout my time, not knowing who to confide in, not knowing how to share what I've seen, being knocked back, people saying, even the law said I made things up and everything. I was sent for assessment to Dennis Kamara. And then I took my son with me. And Dennis said he'd have to see me a second time to understand what sort of help I needed. And my son said immediately that he didn't agree. I wish this would work. He didn't agree with Dennis. I need medication. The first time a medication was mentioned, it was my brother. I have to title. It was my brother Irvin who said I need medication. I don't know if he told me I need medication before I learned he had told my other family that I am mad or after. So I went, I saw Dennis. I was called by the team, and then Joseph came to my house to interview me. And then I was contacted by Dr. Phil Gregory via telephone. And I meet with Dr. Phil Gregory. From the time I meet with Dr. Phil Gregory, Dr. Phil Gregory already knows Kevin's name. Don't know what else he knows about Kevin, but now have to come to the conclusion whatever Kevin said to Dennis was relayed to Dr. Phil. Anyway, in meeting Dr. Phil, the way he spoke to me and everything, so I now decided, okay, here is a professional that I could trust in terms of telling him what I had, this mirage I had in my head all these years. And that was part of my trauma because I was keeping a secret, a family secret. Yes? So I went to Dr. Phil. We had the consultation. I came home. He said the next visit, he would like to visit me in my home. As per usual, my place is not the best because I'm a hoarder and then I'm writing and I need to take out this folder to find this information because it's not in my head. So I make sure I spruce up the place. And that is the thing. Visitor, you always spruce up your place. Going back to my father, I remember the time my mother would said, because of my father's sickness, run, Ratty, run, they come in to look for Sandy man and the bed not spread up or the place not tidy. So I have all those things too. So I decided now I'm going to tell Dr. Phil, hoping to get some help. Dr. Phil was sat right there. After I showed him around the place with the disrepair and everything, and I told Dr. Phil about the mirage. And I said to Dr. Phil, like I explained to you, and I said, I do not know if I'd seen what I think I'd seen or I made it up. I know I didn't make it up. The only thing is, in my head, what the two objects were doing, I didn't see. So I didn't see any doing. I only saw when one of the objects walked away. And one of the object was sat. And one of the object walked away. So I didn't see anything happening then. But in my head, something must have been happening for the door to be closed and this object, the two objects are in the same place. Okay? I told Dr. Phil all of that in confidence. The first person apart from my son, because I didn't even detail it out. I just said to my son, this is what I think I've seen. And my son used a word. Yeah? So I detailed it out to Dr. Phil. And Dr. Phil said to me, why did you tell me that? What do you want me to do about it? So remember now, I decided to trust Dr. Phil because he's a psychiatrist. We had our first consultation and he's a man. I don't go for women. And then what Miss Reed had done to me make it more, because Miss Reed was the first person I considered telling. So when he said to me, "What do you want me to do?" I'm expecting him now to help me in this matter. We've come this far. But then I heard Dr. Phil start using some other things because the solicitor gave me some documents to give to Dr. Phil, including the letter from Dr. Pennant that said what half a page that said one of his colleagues said I am bipolar. I never heard any bipolar being used. I know about bipolar because I went to events where people talk about being bipolar and stuff. I don't know if I bought a book, but I'm in picture with because I'm always in picture with people. So that was when the it was the solicitor asked for a medical report from the GP, and basically she wrote half a. It took so long, and then she was saying she get 20 minutes to write the thingy, and she didn't have much meeting with me, and blah. But she said one of her colleague, and I can't even remember seeing that people because people are writing things about me. Some of what I put shared, and some of what I don't know where they get it from. So she mentioned the name. I think Dr. Evans said I might be bipolar and it has to do with my speech and slurred this and don't know. Anyway, I discussed that with the solicitor already, so I wasn't bothered about whatever it is. Because if I have a condition, age 65, and I've lived and worked until they take away my entitlement and I reach this stage, and I'm surviving because I thought I wouldn't live to be 60 and healthy because of my DNA. Reason I chose not to have any more children. So then I heard that Phil started using certain narratives like what what they said right there. What I said is not happening. I'm making it up. Remember now, I just told Dr. Phil, meeting him the first time and developing the confidence in him. So when he comes to my house, that's where I'm now going to confide in him about this thing going on. And then to hear him start using certain narrative like, I didn't make it up. What I said is happening to me is not happening to me. I made it up and everything. And then coming from the how many court case, because the first court case, they said I made up disability. The second one was even worse. And then all that was happening to me on you on social media where they took away everything I've got now. And all I have left is YouTube. Twitter is blocking me out. Instagram is doing the same thing. And YouTube is trying to take away my channel. So I said, you know what? Here again, I have to give up my rights. I can't afford not to have. So sometimes I just leave.